Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back as the players of the realm. Hope you guys had a great Halloween. We are here today to continue the Halloween one shot, and the truly horrific thing is, I'm back for today. So, hopefully, our players are all ready to rock and roll. We're giving Anthony a little break for this week. And here we are. All right, so let's do a quick little refresher for not just myself, but also for Saris. She missed out on the last one last week. So let's go ahead and pick up where you guys were up to.
We found ourselves in we were started on a train where Fennec was planning his great escape, and then he just dissipated out of the train. So in his eyes, he has a win. But we appear in some random strange village of Thornwood or Thornburg. We haven't figured it out yet.
With Thornburg, because there's a lot of names with wood already in it.
I believe it was Thornwood, but
it was Thornwood, yeah.
Thornwood it is.
And there we met Eustace, sorry. Getting into character early.
You just keep being you.
Useless. Yeah.
I mean, I have a whole 2-page of notes, but I don't want to.
No, keep rolling.
So we, fine. I'll take the recap. So we wind up in a random village or town of Thornwood. We meet at first Eustace Wiggerbottom, the local historian, who has been talking about the last 3 years that people have been losing their heads after they see quote unquote it. It's a fairly large town with worn paths, peasants, and whatnot. Center of the town is a large church, no real markings of any real deity. We go to the church, doors are open, lights are on, it's empty. We meet an old gnome named Zafira, who talks about how the government controls the supplies. When asked about it, we find out that it is a horseman that was formerly Nathaniel Blackwood, whose family line is no more. He is known to enter buildings, does not like getting off his horse. Points us in the direction of the Blackwood estate or farm. We travel down the path at night because we're smart. Cabin had burned down about 6 years ago. The events of the horsemen have been going on for about 5. The field had been burnt. Just being on the farm area, everybody kind of feels ill. We find a small lockbox in which, when we opened it, triggered an interaction or an engagement with a poltergeist. we do find in that box, after ridding the poltergeist, a half of a locket and a silver ring. The picture, half of the locket is of a beautiful woman. And then another poltergeist appears. Fennec flies back to town on his newly acquired broom of flying. So Fennec is airborne now.
Another
He
truly
goes,
horrifying part.
Not
Yep.
Air Force One, it's Air Fennec One.
Yep. He goes back to the church to kind of warn people, but then when he gets there, he finds that there's nobody. Cannot find Zafira, cannot find anybody in there. Goes to the local inn, gets berated and profiled by the bartender, who throws the locket of the woman on the floor. Eventually, the party makes it back. They're able to talk to the bartender a little bit better. We find out that Zafira is known as kind of the local baddie old crazy woman. And as we start trying to rest, we hear a blood-curdling scream about a mile away. Fennec goes out to scout the town, finds the remains of a decapitated woman. Levin and Fennec go to check, and Gearfried is in the tavern weaponizing pork rind. Did I miss anything?
That was a great recap, Matt. A great recap.
I think you're now stuck with the job.
I got it.
You
Ooh,
did not leave out one detail. Beautiful.
And no, it's character, and that's the whole part of the recap.
Well, you have to remember what to forget as Fennec, right? You know.
Well, it's not even that. I was saying, like, character-wise, Fennec's going
Yeah.
as the
Alright,
party
then.
is.
Yeah. But what we didn't hear was what Saris was up to.
I assume she was asleep?
Yeah, you were asleep. And you find yourself awaking on a park bench. Potentially a familiar sight for you in your urban environment, but I'll let you be the judge of that. You notice, as Fennec said, it's a dusty looking town. If you see the little thing up on the screen right now, you know, it's a standard-esque kind of medieval style village, dimly lit with orange glowing lights all about. How do you
Yeah.
proceed?
I would say I believe we were in the past too. We're not in the same era as Eberron. Like
We never determined that.
Oh no, I
Could be.
thought
No one recognizes this town.
like it was supposed to be like back in the days kinda, but I mean I have that in my notes, but I could be wrong.
Sarah like sort of sits up on the park bench and looks around her. It's like, this is disturbingly familiar. Waking up on the park bench, just like, done that a lot. Haven't done that recently, and looks around a little bit and just sort of like, well, the others. Do I hear screams or chaos in any direction?
At the moment, no. You hear the hoot of an owl in the distance. The streets are deathly quiet at the moment, other than the odd sound of an owl or a rat skittering someplace you can't quite see. After walking for a little bit, though, you do hear the shriek of a woman. It sounds like she's not far off from you.
Only because I probably don't know where Melee is, I'm going to go towards the scream.
Okay. You wind through the streets, and as you kind of like are going through, you round one of the corners and you hear the sound of hooves clopping away at an upbeat tempo. Imagine the little coconuts cluck, 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 hitting across the stone work of the road. As you round through the corner, you look around and you see the body of a woman laying on the street.
Okay. I will approach cautiously, and I'm looking around to see if I can find what made her become passed out in the street.
You approach the body.
I do.
As you approach, imagine cautiously,
Oh, very much so.
as always. You look around, you look to your left, you look to your right, glance up, and you notice there's a silhouette of a small figure on a broom flying away
Ah,
from the scene.
I quickly draw my crossbow and fire.
All right. Well, that throws a nice little wrench into what previously happened. Right from the get-go. Thank you very much.
Uh,
You didn't.
Yeah.
What you
It's what I
didn't
do.
notice last time was the crossbow bolt flying past you as you were flying about through the city streets.
I wanted to try and hit him.
I cast shield automatically.
The timeline would have been messed up, though.
That's fair. Fair.
You notice that the body of the woman is headless.
Ooh.
Be glad there's no sanity system. Otherwise, you'd be making a sanity check of some sort.
I feel like this isn't the first decapitated body Ceres has seen.
You know. You'll notice, though, that there isn't any blood coming out of her.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Even though the wound seems to be very fresh.
Seems she may have died before she lost her head. Well, I guess she sort of does a little prayer for the dead, and then I'm going to go through her pockets and see if she has any money or valuables.
As you should. You'll notice that she has about 6 silver on her. And a small iron key.
All right.
Anything else you'd like to rummage for, or?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. As you kind of finish rummaging through the pocket, you hear someone call out, "Get out of the street! Don't you know you're going to be next if you keep hanging around out there?" You look up. There's like a dude kind of poking his head out of a second-story window. You know, he's like an overweight guy with like a large mustache coming down, bald head. Then as he finishes saying that, he like looks about kind of startled and scared himself and shuts the window in front of him.
Oh, that's incredibly useful. Thank you, caring citizen. Just kind of eyes the poor dead woman that he didn't seem to care about in the least. How many silver pieces?
6.
6. Okay. I just wanted to
6?
make sure.
Oh, yeah.
It matters to me because I use that money.
Good.
Anyhow, she's gonna. All right.
All right.
Onward we go. And she will start just sort of wrecking. Her only lead right now is the nefarious creature on the broom, so she's gonna go walking in the direction that it flew off in.
Good.
Perhaps she can kill it.
I hope
She
so.
she has her crossbow out now because she knows there's an airborne threat, and she is, while walking ahead and trying to stay vigilant, she's now included up as her direction of scanning for threats.
As you tail the target for quite a bit of time, periodically, you think you hear the sound again of hooves around a corner, behind you, somewhere. You eventually find yourself in front of a small inn. You notice that the small little figure went flying into the window. As you kind of approached, you also started to hear a familiar whistle sound. Like somebody's whistling for this flying creature in the night.
Can I climb the wall to this window?
You could certainly try.
And regretfully, I will.
You can pick acrobatics, athletics, whatever you feel.
If I can have acrobatics, I'm taking it. And I would like to cast guidance, do a little prayer to my goddess.
You better describe it acrobatically then. I want to hear of a backflip going up the wall.
She's gonna do like yeah, she's gonna. It's sort of like she on the ice. I'm envisioning like thick windowsills, and she's just sort of platforming across them on her tippy toes.
Okay. Like a goat.
Yes, she is. She is a mountain goat, an urban mountain goat.
Well, give me a little roll for it and you can call it there. Very nice. And you are the mountain goat you believe you are.
Fuck yeah.
Nice work. So yeah, you basically, like you said, you kind of hop up onto the top of the window set like frame, hop onto the door one, and then hop back up onto the top of the roof. Or like I should say, like the roof and then the window into their room is like here. So it's kind of like above where the like what is it called? Like the siding of the roof is or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You peek in and you notice there's a bunch of fools standing around in there talking in an
Interesting.
orange light. One of them is a goblin. There's an elf. It has a bar. And a Gerfried.
I'm in the
Genasi.
kitchen. I'm in the kitchen. At this point, I believe I'm digging through the garbage can.
Oh,
I
great.
totally had forgotten what you were. Sorry.
I'm a fire genasi. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, his head's on fire. What is that? All right. What do you do for this? You kill them all? You have the opening strike on them.
I am tempted. But no, I will wait on the windowsill and hear what they're discussing. I want to know why Fennec killed a woman in the street.
How force.
What are you all discussing then?
I mean, we just got in, so I'm going to report back about the body. So we might have a small insurance problem, and it's not me.
Okay.
On my little circle around the city, town, found where that scream probably came from and why it was so short-lived. Because the person who screamed, they're, and he's just gonna kind of like make the gesture, like, head getting cut off.
Yes, that was the assumption. We were warned about this by several of the townsfolk.
And something even worse. Would Fennec have heard the hoofs while he was flying?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're flying low enough to see the body clearly without the head,
Okay.
you would have potentially heard hooves every so often.
Okay. He'll mention that. I think the horseman's on its way. I can definitely hear the hooves, but I think I'm being followed. No, wait. Hold on. Sorry. Prerequisite question. Would I have? No, he wouldn't. He wasn't even looking. So he would not mention anything about being followed because he was not even aware or to look down and look for anything else. He just heard the hooves. I won't bet again that.
So you didn't notice anything else but the body?
What was that?
So you didn't notice anything else but the body?
No, it's just that the body no longer has a head, and that there are loud hooves approaching from somewhere.
So, and he must be here, obviously, already.
At
Well,
this
we-
point, I will hop into the conversation by entering the room, holding my pork rind, and just go, unfortunately, I didn't have any butter, but I found this, so this will work. Just now that I'm in the room.
I'm assuming that's towards some preparations.
Something like that, yeah.
Alright. Just to confirm, you still have that scroll that I give you, yes?
Yep, scroll of fog, right? We got that.
Alright. Just remember, if you need to use that to run.
Something tells me I'm not going to be the one that's going to be doing the running, but yeah, you know.
I like your attitude, Freed.
It's better to have a backup.
That's fair. Things would be going a lot easier if we had Ceres with us, though.
Actually, I didn't notice she was gone. She's always out and about somewhere. Well,
As you hear that, Saris, you hear someone walking in the street underneath you. You notice there's a woman wearing a long green emerald colored dress. She has auburn hair and is walking into the inn. Feel free to continue on.
Well, do we hear the sound of the inn being opened up and someone walking in?
If you're paying close attention, you might. Yeah.
This is like a passive perception, or would this be perception?
I mean, this would be passive unless you're actively, maybe you'd be hearing some other things too. So
I don't think I
actively perceive. Feel free, but
all right,
otherwise,
sure.
passively, you just hear the door open.
Hearing that, I feel like Gearfried would walk over. I assume we're on the second floor, so I'd just walk over to the stairs to see if there is a ghostly headless horseman walking into the bar just to check.
Now, as you look in, you see a similar sight. A well-dressed woman in an emerald dress with red hair, or auburn hair, sorry. And she's kind of sitting alone at a small table off to the side. As she takes a seat, you see the bartender bring her a goblet of wine and set it down in front of her.
Does she pay?
I don't see any money exchanged.
Huh. I just peek my head back into the room. That wasn't the horseman, fortunately. Though it seems that they're more accommodating to beautiful young women than they are to goblins.
Tell me twice.
Someone walked in. Did they seem like they were in a hurry or distressed?
Oh, no, it just seemed like they walked in.
And you don't see that as usual with the recent scream?
I mean, I'm not from here. I mean, she could be the bartender's wife. I don't know. I mean, if you want to check, we can go ask.
I'm gonna take a look.
Aren't we supposed to
And
be dispatching of this horseman?
Levin's gonna make his way downstairs to go actually get a visual on this person.
Like a cop.
Oh, thankfully, Cyrus, it's not my jurisdiction.
You just go to lay down the
Uh,
moves, like on the train.
that was good.
All right, so we got Levin going downstairs. Rest of all, anything else you'd like to add in, or
I'm gonna go downstairs too because I'm gonna start heading that way anyways.
right on?
I'll go with them. Just
That
I'll
moves
hang
you
back a
round.
little bit because I'm kind of jarring looking, but I'll just kind of be near them.
Right on. Then we cut to Levin coming down the stairs, and as you round the corner, you see the striking woman with the long auburn hair looking sullenly into the glass of wine. You notice that she picks it up lightly, takes a sip from it, sets it back down gently onto the table, and keeps her eyes fixed into the liquid inside.
Levin's gonna walk up to the barkeep. Just to confirm, you did hear that recent scream, yes?
I did. Poor soul
Did
must
you-
have met their end.
It's unfortunate. Has anyone come in a panic?
No, no folk in a panic. Just hoping not to meet their own ends, I suppose.
All right. Has anyone else come in since that scream?
Well, I suppose old Isabella did.
He's gonna cast a glance if he's looking towards her direction as he says her name.
He kind of gives you a head nod to like point her. She periodically comes in.
Not the type of person that would be that would object to a question or two, would she?
What are you, a cop? No,
Levin's gonna roll his eyes and sigh and just slump his shoulders a little bit. I get that more frequently than I'm comfortable with.
Question for the DM.
yeah.
Does Fennec's down there with them? Not sure if it was answered. I apologize if it was. Does the woman that entered resemble at all the woman in the locket?
You don't see her.
I don't see the woman that walked in the bar.
Did you come down with them? Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you said you didn't come down.
No, I did come down. Like I'm with them.
You're with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems familiar.
But does she like Fennec has the locket they found with the picture of the woman in it? Does it resemble her?
Yeah. Looks a few years older. And that kind of, you're like opening up the locket and you kind of like look at it, you look at her. There's a thing as Levin's going along his conversation there.
Yeah, Fennec's gonna like Levin, you're just gonna feel your pant leg just being yanked, like repeatedly.
Pardon me. He's gonna turn to the barkeep real quick. Pardon me a moment. Yes?
And he's gonna shove the locket straight up, like open.
Levin's gonna take a look at the locket and right. So, do you want to lead the round of questions?
No. Last time I talked to a woman, I got arrested.
That's
You
fair.
guys were-
Wrongfully arrested.
you
One of the
guys
few
were,
times that
went through
one
a
of the
lot.
few times that I actually wish Saris was around. She would be better suited for this.
We agree. Where is she anyway? Like,
Huh.
how did we end up here and her not?
I didn't even notice she wasn't here.
She's that sneaky.
If you remember when we were all happened upon this location, we weren't all in the same area.
Oh, so you're saying she might be here? We just haven't found her.
It's likely.
Should I go call her name out in the? No, never mind. She'd kill me.
You mean the cue that 11 told us to do? Just scream each other's names when we need to find each other?
Yes,
I'm
but
sorry.
that-
He's gonna turn towards Yami tersely. I'm sorry. What?
Remember that one time in the mountains? I said, how are we going to find each other since we split up? You said, just scream.
That was during an active combat threat.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a thing. All right, gotcha.
Also, if you yell Saris's name out, she will kill you. Trust me.
Or alternatively, if she is in the area, she will most likely hide to maintain her position.
Mm-hmm. If
I'm
you're gonna
under-
Oh, nothing.
Oh,
Sorry, boys, but do you need anything, or can I go get back to my work now?
My apologies. And he's gonna put down I believe it was a silver apiece last time for the mugs.
Mhm.
He's gonna put down. He's gonna look around towards Yami. He's gonna start pointing his fingers at each individual member to see if he can get a yes or a no for beverages.
Head nod, yes.
I'll also nod.
aggressive, yes.
And hooks on high towards Gearfried at the stairs.
Give him a thumbs up.
All right, 3 then, if you would.
I'll walk down at
4?
this.
I've had enough for the evening. Thank you. Just the 3.
Alright, suit yourself. And then he comes out and he pulls up a couple of glasses. Which we have in the beer or the wine?
Beer.
Yeah.
I'm ale for
Beer
all.
for all of you. Good choice.
3.
Just goes pouring them up. Hands them to you guys.
First one he passes immediately to Fennec because he's right at his leg.
Oh,
And he's going to walk over the other one to Yami and Gearfried. And he's going to walk up one to Gearfried.
Gearfried will be walking down to grab the beer
Yep.
for you. I also wanted to ask, why is it that she's so opposed to her name being called? Is it she doesn't like her name being shouted out? Is it? I'm still getting used to the group dynamic here.
Cyrus
Okay.
is Cyrus. You just get used to her.
From you've been to Sharn, yes?
Yeah.
She was more accustomed to the lower levels.
I see. I see.
she's a woman of mystery. Still,
I don't see too much mysterious about her. She's just keeping to herself and trying to keep safe.
which is still mysterious in some ways.
Mystery to you, at least.
I mean, it comes off as a bit dodgy.
Everything's a mystery to me.
I mean, she's
Dodgy-
helpful, so that's all that
Dodgy is part and parcel, and she wouldn't even find that insulting.
I didn't mean to be insulting. I just meant it to be an observation.
Fair.
I mean, she's useful. That's all that matters to me.
I admit she is good in the scrap.
She's very good at this kind of stuff. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Where is she?
But she's...
We didn't even try to look.
I would say she's better at massaging social situations at the very least.
So how
I don't know how-
proceed from here, by the way. Sorry to jump in.
Sorry, what was
She's
that?
also very caring. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I'm going to put that out there.
Sorry, DM. What did you ask?
So what's the plan from here?
Maybe we should find Cyrus. But she probably come here with like.
Gearfried, you've dealt with persons, right? In terms of negotiations and the like?
Yeah, a bit. I've negotiated with the Orions.
He's gonna hold up the lot. He's gonna put... Levin's gonna put himself so that he's facing Gearfried, but is blocking the vision from Isabel. And he's gonna hold up the locket with the photo so that he can get a look at both at once.
Yeah, that looks to be the same person, or at least someone very similar looking.
Now, if you would kindly take this, and if you could figure out an appropriate way of approaching her, it would probably help us if we could figure out what was going on.
All right, I'll see what I can glean from her. Though I'm probably not going to be charming her. If that's the idea you have in your mind. I
Well,
will.
if I go with Fennec has a much greater force of personality, but he tends to be impulsive and inappropriate.
Understood. I'll be a gentleman. And I walk over to the young woman. And is there like a candle or anything near her, or like an unlit candle? I don't know.
It's a lit one.
I was
But,
gonna press. I was gonna press the digitation if it wasn't. I'm just going to walk over to her and um, is she just staring at her drink, or is she just kind of like 1,000 yards staring into the distance or something?
She's looking into the wine as you approach. And as you kind of come up to the table, she glances up. You notice very again sullen look on her face. And she kind of peers back down into the wine and says in a soft tone, "Yes. What is it? Why do you bother me?"
I'm I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be a bother. Just a tad unusual to see someone so calm in a situation like this. My friends and I are new to this town, and it seems that everyone's a bit in a tizzy. I'm sorry. May I take a seat?
If you must.
I sit. I don't mean to
She
sound
looks up at
presumptuous.
you. Mhm.
Sorry.
She's just looking up at you.
Okay. I don't mean to be presumptuous, but uh, you seem very familiar. Have you lived here very long?
My whole life.
Uh right. Um, I'm kind of like looking at the locket and then back up at her, and I'm just gonna go uh
Is the locket visible?
no, I kind of have it like at my side, and I sit down, so I'm just kind of like glancing down a little bit, and then looking back at her, being like, oh shit, this does look very similar to this person.
Okay. Real quick, Levin is going to carefully move towards the front door so that he could start making observations from outside the tavern or the inn.
Okay.
Um, you wouldn't have happened to know that that gentleman who his family was over by the Blackwood. That name ring any bell for you?
Notice her eyes kind of narrow. And she gets a look of disgust on her face. Yes. Why?
Well, it's just that my friends and I have sort of taken it upon ourselves to see if we can't aid this beheading problem that this town seems to have every year. No one seems to be doing anything about. The name came up, and it seems as though this Blackwood fellow might be the person who's causing it purely from just a basic understanding of the situation. It seems as though there might be some kind of curse or necromancy. Personally, I don't know. I'm really not one for basic magics myself. But there seems to be some kind of connection. And judging by your reaction, it seems as though you might have a hard opinion on whoever this Blackwood fellow might be.
Yes. I do have a strong opinion on him, as you say. But that is my business of my opinion of him. Why should I involve you with my feelings on him?
Well, it just seems that if this Blackwood individual is the one that is, uh, what? How should we phrase this? Relieving people of their heads. Perhaps it might be in the best interest of everybody in this town if you were to impart any knowledge or pertinent information that could be of use to us if we're trying to stop this.
Give me a persuasion roll real quick.
Persuasion.
Mhm.
Okay. Not terrible. 12.
Well, she gives a sigh and looks like sadly into the cup. I believe that he is heavily connected to this whole ordeal.
And are, is he by chance at all connected to you? Um, Perhaps an old childhood friend or a former lover or something.
You notice
You know,
she's like she gives a she literally goes like and then takes a swig from the wine. That fool lover of mine, never.
perhaps an object of obsession.
That is something he had over me. What do you said you're new here. How did you come upon all this ideas that are going along in that flaming head of yours?
I'll try not to take offense to that, but well, we decided to take a bit of an excursion over to what used to be his homestead before it was burned and sundered, and well, we found something that does resemble you to a rather great extent, and it's part of the reason why came up to you. It just seems that there was a connection. Didn't know necessarily if it was you that the uh, thing that we saw was supposed to be, or perhaps someone that was related to you, or perhaps you were the daughter of someone. It was just running on a hunch.
Notice she kind of sits there for a moment, takes a deep breath in as she swirls the cup on the table. Yes. Now, tell me something. Um, what was your name
Gearfried.
again? Fairfried.
Gearfried.
Do you believe that people get what they deserve? Or that you have to do something in order for that to happen?
I
And if
find that
somebody
people.
wronged you, would they deserve to be at peace forever?
I find that nature rarely takes its course when it comes to instances of poor behavior.
Hmm. I see. Well, I'll enlighten you a little bit on how we are linked together.
By all means.
You see, he took away someone that I had great affection for. My Robert, if only we could have been together. But Nathaniel was a jealous, jealous man. Unfortunately, he could not let anyone have him but me. He could not let have me be anyone else's. Sorry. And he took Robert away from me.
I see. Uh, this might be a shot in the dark. Have you any sort of memento or visual, perhaps an image in a locket of your
dearly departed Robert?
No, unfortunately, I do not. All that I have of him is the memory.
That's unfortunate.
But if you are asking about Nathaniel and trying to do investigation on him, perhaps this would be of interest to you then. And she reaches into a small bag that she's carrying and pulls out an old yellowed letter and slides it on the table towards you.
I open the letter.
You notice that it's a love letter from Nathaniel to Isabella. And skimming through the letter, it's filled with all this flowery prose about how he loves her and how her emerald eyes shine brighter than the greenest fields, and how her flowing hair is more beautiful than the setting sun, and that he could not see anybody else possess such a majestic person, and that if he couldn't have her, then no one else could. That he
Wow,
would do anything in order to be with her in eternity.
well, this is certainly a. Well, I'm certain there's an audience for it, but I'm certainly not the target demographic, and I assume you weren't either.
Yes. Not at all.
Tell me, have you ever tried to move beyond Robert? Have you had any? I don't mean to pry, obviously, too much. This is purely from an investigative standpoint. Have you taken any other potential romantic partners? Any suitors come your way since then you've considered taking?
We don't know if that's any of your business.
Well, I merely am trying to establish a pattern. Specifically, if you have had any suitors in the past, have they become victims of the annual beheadings?
I think you'll find victims of the beheadings are of all type of people, Mr. Gearfried.
Allow me to rephrase. It's my suspicion that Blackwood is the headless horseman that's going around taking the heads of other people. What I'm curious about is if anyone who's tried to uh, impress you, present themselves as a potential partner for you, if they've become victims of this headless horseman. Because if that's the case, I think there might be a pattern established there.
I will. No, Gearfried. I've not had any other partners. If you'll be so persistent with these questions.
I
Now,
apologize if that came off as
I
a bit
think
too forward.
is something. Now, what is there anything else that you are going to be asking of me or
Yes.
prying into?
I believe my friend over there has something he'd like to say.
What is this?
One
Bad
question.
cop, worse cop?
Nope. Trust me. If we were doing good cop, bad cop, we don't have the right tools.
I should have said bad cop for short cop. My fault, guys. That was a missed opportunity.
I mean, did we want Fennec to light the tavern up? Miss Isabella, I just have one question, then we will leave you alone. When we first got to town, the way how we first learned about Nathaniel and his tragedy was from an older woman named Zafira. Do you know anything about her?
Yes.
Care to indulge that information?
Fortune teller that roams about. I'd hardly call Nathaniel's incident tragic, as you put it. The way I see it, he is suffering as much as he deserves.
I get that, but can you tell us a little? We ran into Zafira, but I went back to the church before coming here, and she was gone. We've heard that she's kind of like the crazy cat lady. Like, who is she? Just a random woman? Does she have any connection to this?
He's what some might call a traveler, a fortune teller, a charlatan to some.
How long has she been in these parts?
I don't know.
No further questions.
Traveler, fortune teller, charlatan. What is she to you?
He's no one to me.
Who are you to her?
Probably just the same.
Fair enough. One final question, and I promise this is the last.
He takes another big swig and says, "Well, ask away then. Certainly have made this night eventful."
Nathaniel Blackwood obviously had a keen obsession with you. Though I'm also curious, was there anything besides you that you might consider a particular point of interest for this gentleman? Any
Besides me,
obsession beyond you?
just that horse of his.
Fair to assume he probably named it Isabella.
A good guess, but no. Its name was something along the thing of Midnight or something like that. She was a black mare.
Right, the flowery prose that I've seen in about a million places before. I assume that he expended just as much creativity on the horse's name.
Exactly. I tried not to pry too much into his goings on.
It's probably a good idea. He seems like a right nutter.
So much so he seems to have lost his head.
That is clever. Well, you've been wonderful. I appreciate the information.
Excuse me,
Fennec,
miss. I apologize. I apologize.
Tolerable.
I have one last question. I know this is the last one, but
Another one of you. Where are you all popping out from?
This poor woman.
over here. My question is not as intricate as these guys. You say he's headless. Do you happen to know where his head is?
Pauses for a long, long time. She's looking at you.
shit, that's actually a really good question.
And what if I did?
It would probably help dispatch of him, as I am in the business of hunting monsters and creatures as such. Something he has to have some kind of weakness, and obviously, if he comes every year and he's headless, he has to be looking for something.
You may have heard of where the head is. But if I were to help you know where the head is, that would put him at rest, wouldn't it?
Well, assuming that you didn't like him, you weren't very fond of him, at least from what I overheard. Sorry for eavesdropping, but I would assume you would have something to do with this curse. Maybe we can end it.
Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe you'll have to just help him find it on your own.
Either way, is he killable? Is my next question and last question.
We're not
It's
sitting
from-
with staff.
Oh, I'll let my sword do all the answers for my finding answers itself. Well, thank you anyways. I'm sorry to bother you and trouble you. Well, I'm gonna stretch, crack my neck, my knuckles, and just start heading toward the door.
She says, "Good luck on your hunt."
Well, I suppose that that should be our leave as well. Again, thank you. You've been informative, if not a bit dodgy, but still, thank you for the information you've given. I'm going to stand up and also follow Yami, and then say, "Wait, are we going or wait?" I'm just gonna like kind of flag him, like, "Wait, wait."
Before Fennec leaves, he's going to reach into his pocket and pull something out and hold it out for her. But he's not going to open his hand until she reaches out.
What is it, little green one?
He'll open it to reveal the silver ring they found.
Oh, right.
She looks at it, like turns it, and looks on the inside. Daniel, go ahead and keep this. Why don't you take this too? And she slides the letter over to you. I'm done with all this business.
My apologies. I thought it might be Robert.
I think that you are well and fine taking from him.
All right. Well, I'm done. Thank you for your help and kindness, and sleep tonight with a good head on your shoulders. And he'll just awkwardly walk away.
So Yami, did you leave the bar?
I was walking towards the door. My hand was on the door as that was happening. So yeah, that was my intentions. 'Cause I remember seeing, I think Levin leave outside, he said earlier.
No, he went to the door to listen towards outside to assess if anybody else was around.
Which, let's fill that in right before we go all outside. Saris, outside, what were you doing?
So I assume the thing that I typed is illegible?
Oh, I can
What?
see that.
As I look down the street from the second story part.
Okay. Well, never mind. I wasn't sure. There was a language thing where I could toggle the languages, and I was like, what
Yeah,
does
you
that...
can. I can read it no matter what you put, but yeah.
Well, it looks like they all can. Everyone can, so
yeah,
I guess it doesn't matter. So,
Here again, you kind of notice that as the minutes go by, it's deathly silent. And again, with your passive, you kind of hear every so often the sound of hooves kind of going down some alleyway or street. But they never seem to get any closer to you. You may see someone like dodge in and out of a doorway really quickly, but it's still rare and far between.
all right.
No, it's too
That was all I was doing for the moment.
Okay. How much noise are you making up there?
I am actively making none.
Actively making none. 11, as you're kind of looking out, you don't see anybody. You barely hear like any sounds through the strong wooden door.
I'll turn as Yami approaches the door. Right. So, what's wrong? Taking a step outside?
Yeah, seems like we got all the information we need, or at least what she wanted to give. As I look back towards the others, I think they're
Yeah.
coming.
Wait. Yeah, that's me coming up behind Yami. I think I might have an idea for how to proceed.
Well, do you want this to be an indoor or outdoor conversation?
Perhaps indoor. Let's go back into the room. The rented room. I mean, my idea does require a bit of preparation. I, for one, have some. Well, I'll run it by you first. Let's just retire to the room really quick.
As
And
you guys hustle up the staircase, you like go up the staircase, and as you round the corner, the scene fades to black. We'll be picking up right there after this quick break.
I have those pass.
While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Remember, go check us out on patreon.com and support us on the merch store if you have the chance. Links are down in the doobly-doo if you would like to go there. Give it a click and pop over, grab some gear, support us. Hey, every little bit helps keep us running and getting new stuff. So, hey. Back to business. Or the investigation of the coppers. So we have the group gathered upstairs in their room, scared, huddled away from the headless horseman. I'm kidding. You guys are just up there talking. And Saris is still creeping around outside. What do
Yes.
we want to start off with first? I'll give you guys the choice. Saris, would you like to jump in, or would you like to let the boys run through some more?
I mean, her goal at this point is to sort of shadow them until they start to do something. So she's mostly listening, watching the street to see if anyone suspicious appears, that sort of thing.
Cool.
All right. I have an idea that I think might be able to lure the horsemen out.
Yes,
I
the
mean,
public indecency bit. I'm wondering how that factors in.
all right. So hear me out. Hear me out. Well, public indecency might be a bit strong of a word, but so clearly, I think we've all kind of come to the independent conclusions that Nathaniel Blackwood is the headless horseman that's running around relieving people of their heads. Now, from my conversation, what I gleaned was that Nate was a bit of a lunatic, somewhat obsessed with Miss Isabella, and I have an idea. The one thing I think that people who are just that fucking crazy, the thing I think that they're most concerned with is shadowing every move of the person that they're obsessed with, right? Well, obviously he's not shadowing her since he's going around killing other people. I tried to get her to maybe say that perhaps he was going after potential lovers or potential suitors. Didn't seem to be the case. What I think that we should do, at least something that could lure him out. I need to prepare this for the morning, but I can disguise myself, right? If I take her form and I were to say have a suitor at my side professing his love to me, her, and the love was reciprocated in some way, shape, or form, perhaps I might get a certain jealous lover to be coming out into the woodworks, and then, maybe we could set up some explosive barrels or, I don't know, some other sort of trap to catch him off guard and lay down some hate in the form of magic or sharp objects.
And I'm assuming you would want this to be in a more public area.
Precisely. We could, personally, I'm all for public because that gives us more chances to put. I mean, you have that
Well,
amazing bow, so we put you somewhere on a roof. I mean, if Sarah's were here, I don't know if she's more ranged, but I mean that's just a conversation for another day. If we were to find her, but being able to ambush this fellow would probably be best in a public area where there's a lot of space.
sounds like
So, large open area, multiple sidelines, and we put on a spectacle.
Exactly.
okay. I can dig it. I have a I
But
do have
Yami,
a hat, my special hat to lure him in, but we have three other options as well. We can take the time to look for his head as it's somewhere around the town, or we
I was
can
about
do
to say,
Well, I'm not particularly suited towards boisterous roles, so if you don't mind, while you manage that, I'll take up a position overwatching.
right. I was going to say, Yami, that idea you had about the head was interesting, but she seemed less than forthright when it came to, leading us in that direction. I've no doubt, based on what I saw, it seems like she either has a very good idea or just straight up knows where his head currently is, but I don't think we're going to get that out of her.
No,
You're
I'm
right.
thankful you didn't threaten her.
It can't be too far from town, at least. I know she's not going to go nowhere too far, but again, like I said, that's also a great plan. So,
Also, you don't need to worry about me. I mean, I don't know about the rest of the group, but I'm not going to threaten some young woman. We're just asking questions.
oh no, I didn't mean threaten her. We could just look around. I mean, it'd be time consuming, but just another option. But yeah, we can go with your idea. I think I like it better. It's more direct. Might as well get it done now than later, at least.
It's easier
Well,
than asking questions around, at least, because these people have been uh, reserved, is the
well,
easiest way I could put it.
perhaps
Yeah,
asking questions during the morning might be the optimal course of action. I mean, people are obviously going to be on edge at night when they're getting their heads lopped off, but if we could perhaps convene with some people during the day when they're less nervous about losing their heads, they might be willing to tell us
It would also give
where
us the opportunity to properly scout for an area to do it in.
precisely.
So, we're turning in?
And what about us?
good to
We
me.
her in the morning too.
If we
Before-
consider that if she's going to try to find us, we're most likely going to be residing in either public lodging or camping, we're not going to go with the obviously dangerous option, aren't we?
We can all just stay in the room we're in now.
We have 3 rooms.
We can stay in our own rooms now. I mean, well, I guess we'll go with Gearfried's plan, right?
Well, it's a sound plan.
In the meantime, Yami, that hand axe you've got at your side, gonna borrow it for a few minutes, or at least not for a few minutes, but just for the night.
Well, you go handle that. I'm going to turn in.
You know what? I'm gonna look at you kind of curious. Like, I don't really trust a lot of people with all my weapons, but
I'm
here
not
you
gonna
go.
break it.
You're a good friend. You can hold on to it.
I'm not gonna hold on to it either. I just need to borrow it for a little bit.
Huh?
I'll have it back to you better than it was. And I just take it and I walk into the other room.
And I guess I'll just stay in the room that I was already in. Huh, Fennec, you rooming with me? You want the bed?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'll sleep in the chair.
I will mountain goat downstairs and enter the establishment to look for this woman. Isabel. If she's
As
still
you
there.
come, yeah,
Okay.
no one's left. And
Okay.
as you come in through the door, you notice the bartender, like the innkeeper, looks up and he says, "Oh, another new person." And you kind of notice she like glances over at you through the side of her eye. It's like, "Welcome, welcome. You need anything, ma'am?"
A glass and a bottle of wine?
Coming right up. Oh, go take a seat. I'll bring it right over for you.
I will walk over to Isabel's table and it's like, hello, ma'am. Oh, would it be too much trouble to have a seat? I understand you've probably had a lot of conversation today, but I have, and forgive me, I wanted to just have a chat. It seems like you don't get a lot of conversation, and conversation is good for the soul.
If that was the case, my soul would be completely enlightened at this point after all of tonight's talking. But I suppose I can't stop you.
Just, I feel like everyone's been trying to sort of glean information from you, but I was thinking maybe you'd like to reminisce the and above game. Her dead lover is named Gregory?
Robert,
Robert. I don't know where Gregory comes from. Okay. So,
Gregor.
your own former lover.
ah, gross. It's like, I'm with the people that were discussing things with you earlier. They don't know I'm around yet, though. I've decided to take the role of guardian angel for them at the moment. It's better to watch them from afar and save them when they need it. They're odd.
Probably
They
best
are.
not to be seen around with them.
Yes, that's usually what I try to do, but you may have noticed they have a way of drawing attention to themselves. Anyhow, I was thinking you could tell me about Robert.
Oh, my dearest Robert. He was such a kind man, strapping arms, chest as wide as a door. Oh, the way he could hold you tight in the cold nights.
And basically, I'm going to, as she's talking, I will be sort of casting a minor illusion and asking, what did he look like? And getting her to basically using minor illusion to create an image of him and do sort of like a police sketch version until I create the image of Robert for her so that she
Okay.
can see him again.
And as for viewers at home, you basically kind of get a mixture of something between the brawny man,
Mm-hmm.
the paper towels,
Oh,
and
yes.
throw in the mustache of Nick Offerman along with it.
Oh, excellent.
And, he's wearing like a red button-down shirt and the like. He's got a strong chin, like you said, a massive like frame and the like. Yes, that's him. To the T almost.
Yes.
Maybe even better.
Well, it's
You really
from your
do have a
recollection.
way with that.
I figure for all the trouble you went through with my companions, you deserved at least this much.
And she kind of like looks down and she almost like looks sad again for a moment. We really. You said you were with them, right? You were you were traveling with them or something of the like.
I'm with them in a sort of locational sense, they tend to bring
Well,
trouble
no
on
matter.
themselves.
It's a complicated relationship you have with them, of a guardian angel.
Yes, it's at least for now. But technically, yes, I am with them.
Seeing Robert like this makes me think about how kind he was, and her voice starts to tremble. And
I put my hand over hers, just to comfort her.
I think this has gone on enough, hasn't it?
I think it has. Robert would want you to be happy and to just be free. The little image of him just kind of there, smiling at her.
Look with the ad, just like the cover of the Brawny. I'm just standing there like that.
It's just a 5 foot tall briny paper towel roll. Sorry.
Go across the creek go to the graveyard and across the creek. There'll be a tree somewhere nearby, over not too far from the water's bank. And I think you'll find what you need.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank
I
you.
apologize for my friends. They are so much. She sort of rolls her eyes at her. It's just like, it's so hard to be around them sometimes. You did
Can be.
indeed.
Thank you. And she gets up from the chair and heads out the doorway.
I will wait about 5 minutes for her to be on her way, and then I am going to head out to the location she said on my own.
Okay. Good and dangerous. I like it.
Ceres is high risk, high reward.
Same way I like to play. So, you go towards the church, and as you're looking around, you notice that there isn't a large graveyard there. As you go creeping about, maybe you climb up a little bit higher onto the church to get a view. You notice there seems to be a allotment of land, though, not far from it. Maybe like 200 yards away, and that seems to be where more of the bodies are buried.
Good times.
And you go climbing, scampering down. As you walk into the graveyard, you hear like a whistling sound of the wind going by and the chains of the gate crackling along. You hear a small creek running nearby. You start hearing the sound of
Thriller soundtrack?
no, probably would have been better, but you hear the sound of hoof steps slowly walking and plodding towards you.
God damn. I cast invisibility.
Okay. You are invisible. Whoops, I pulled up the wrong thing.
And I'm going to try and do two things at once. A, find the place that Isabel described to me.
Mhm.
And B, try to avoid getting any closer to these hoof steps than I can.
So we pulled everybody up on the thing just to kind of give a little frame of reference. But oops. Imagine that there is just more gravestones all lining along here. And as you kind of like dart from grave to grave, you look up around one of the corners and notice that there's a figure riding on a horse. Maybe about 50 yards away from you back at the entrance of the graveyard. And you notice it slides through the gateway and keeps walking towards not like directly in your direction, but towards one of the mausoleums near, or not like large mausoleums, but one of the like outdoor tombs would be a better word for it, I suppose.
Great. Okay.
The creek that you were looking for is over towards the eastern side.
Okay.
Give me a
So
stealth
like
roll.
over here. Cool.
Mhm.
I am going to
You are
augment.
invisible, so
I guess I already have advantage.
yeah, I believe so. It does give you advantage, right?
Technically, invisibility creates disadvantage to perception rolls of people trying to perceive me, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But
If you start with CC,
I would like to stack that with a recently updated feature. Because I am using the new playtest version of Trickery Cleric. And I can now give myself the blessing of the trickster and grant myself advantage to stealth.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm gonna stealth this. Wow, this is my life.
As you're going along,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing well sneaking wise. Then you kind of hit onto a dead stick. It gives a light crack, but then the sound muffles as it sinks into the mud. And you think you hear the sound of the horse give like a snort. And he keeps walking along. To make your way to the creek bed. And it's not very wide. It's maybe about 10 feet, 12 feet wide at max, maybe about waist high.
Okay.
There's a couple spots where there are some rocks that stick out from the creek. And the water is moving at a moderate to slow tempo.
Is it like clear and clean?
It's dark.
Hmm.
The water almost looks black in the night sky that you're currently in, with just some catches of the moonlight on the ripples of the surface.
Well, this feels familiar then. Murky running water. Excellent. I will start to search for whatever Isabel thinks I'm looking for. I assume it will not be what I would normally expect to find here. So there's a sort of guessing.
Across the creek, by the way.
Cross the creek. I have to cross it.
Mm-hmm.
How wide is it?
12 feet. 10 to 12 feet.
Oh,
With some rocks sticking out, you can notice like the blackness of them kind of pushing out against the water.
can
Looks like it's
I
maybe waist high.
can I mountain goat skip along the rocks to avoid getting in the water?
You can certainly try.
Yay! Mountain goat is my new euphemism for acrobatics.
Sounds good to me. I think it works perfectly. So, mountain goating it is.
Huzzah! Nimblest of creatures, the mountain goat. No, I will not do that. I want to stay invisible. Here we go. Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. You go, you hit onto the first rock, but then as you jump onto the second, the rock itself kind of like shifts underneath you. It obviously wasn't on anything stable, and you go plunging into the water. It's icy cold.
I hate fucking nature.
You then hear the sound of a horse again neigh, and as you kind of like crest your head above the water for a moment to kind of catch your air real quick, you can make out the sound of thudding hoof steps coming towards you.
Damn it. Cole, I am going to. I can hear it or I can see it.
You can hear him.
Okay, I'm gonna try and cross this stream before they can see me, so that I can be on the other side.
All right. Unfortunately, you can't mountain goat your way through this part.
No, I can't imagine I would.
No. Do you maintain invisibility?
Yes, I am going. That's why I didn't cast
Cool. Just checking.
guidance.
I just wanted to know for the sake of making sure everything's all clear.
Yeah.
So you hurriedly start kind of like pushing your way through the water. You could feel like the icy coldness building up around you. And you can feel it start sinking almost into your bones, unnaturally so, as you take 2 points of cold damage. And then, as you get to the other side of the bank, you see a dark figure silhouetted in the sky, in the darkness of like the ground landscape behind it. Sorry, and you can see a horse with like red glowing eyes, with hoofs that, like, as it kind of stomps into the ground, giving little flecks of ember off of it. Then you see, as you like take a close look into the darkness, that where the head would be, it is just a stump protruding out from there. You notice that the horse kind of like stomps on the edges of the embankment, and then it kind of like rides back and forth for a moment before then heading back in a different direction, back towards the graveyard.
I hate this town. That's all there is to it. This town is awful. I will keep an ear out to see if I hear the horse approaching closer at any point, but I'm going to continue my search for this thing.
Okay. Give me perception or investigation, or what would be?
Oh, perception
I
works for
think
me.
that one of those two would be applicable.
Yeah, I'll do perception. Happy to do perception.
For what you referenced, from what she kind of told you, there's a tree on the other side across from the graveyard. On this side, there isn't very many trees. You go up to one of them, and as you're kind of like looking around, you see that there's a pile of rocks oddly placed on one part of the ground at the basin of the tree.
Cool. I will approach the rocks. Careful, like, also on the off chance that this is a trap, I am looking out for. Now I am now trying to pay attention for approaching horse and anything else that may spring out to attack me as I approach the rocks. Also, in case the rocks are a trap.
Okay.
Getting very paranoid.
Roll that over, and you don't notice anything, but it's started to get even quieter as you get closer. Almost like your focus has honed you in, and you can't even hear the water going on nearby you. You notice that the stones are in like a small circle formation. Maybe about the size of a head.
Ferdine.
What do you do?
I will pull out my dagger and use the blunt pommel to just prod the head a little.
Prod the ground, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. And you notice that the dirt, while it's settled over the years, shifts and moves, and you can kind of scrape away at it. Maybe about a couple inches as you kind of like shift the dirt around, maybe a foot, no deeper. You feel it hit something more solid.
Okay, I will put the dagger away and I will start using my hands to try and dig this thing out.
You slowly shift the dirt, taking care to look around periodically whenever you hear the crack of a stick
Mm-hmm.
or a sound that's unfamiliar. You slowly but surely make your way deeper into the dirt. As you brush away one of your strokes, you notice that there's a eye socket looking back up to you, filled with dirt inside of it.
Oh, that's great.
You're now looking at a decayed skull.
Cool. Cool. I will dig around to make sure I find anything else in it a little bit, but I assume that will be the whole thing. And then I will very carefully rip off like a substantial strip of my cloak and carefully wrap the skull and put it in my pack.
As you finish putting into the pack, and you kind of look back, as you're starting to look back up, you hear the sound of the horse almost sound like it's right next to you, giving out a loud neigh. And you look up and turn to your right, and you can see a horse barreling down at you,
Cool.
fire coming off of the hooves. And just as it's about to make impact, it bursts into a cloud of embers. You look down, you can see a small glowing horseshoe on the floor.
Like at my feet? Next to me?
Mhm. At your feet.
Oh. Well, I have to say one thing for them. They know how to be flashy. I'm going to rip off another long strip of cloak and carefully pick this up with that and wrap that up and put that in my pack. Actually,
You're not gonna
no.
have any cloak left soon.
What? Oh,
You're not gonna
yeah.
have any cloak left soon.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm going to wrap that up and then just sort of, because it's like horseshoe shaped and wrapped in cloth now, I'm just going to loop it through my belt.
Oh, maybe it'll bring you luck.
Given how I got it, I feel not. Or maybe I now have a new undead demon horse at my beck and call. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I'm going to try and make my way back to the creek and see if I can walk along the edge of it until I'm not across from the graveyard and maybe across from a different part of town and avoid going through the graveyard.
Okay.
How long would this have taken?
A few hours.
Okay,
Well,
so
not like
visibility.
visibility's still low, but by the time that you find a spot to get back over, and what you would deem as like a safe area, probably,
Mm-hmm.
it's starting to crest. The sun is starting to crest over the hills, and
Yeah,
there's a faint glow of the day breaking.
cool. I'm gonna try at this point to get back to the inn and where my companions are sleeping.
Gotta go be your guardian angel.
I want to try and get there, mount and go back up to the windowsill on the second floor, which I assume requires another acrobatics check.
To do it silently, yes. We found out the way to do it. Let's pick up, like, you're getting there. The camera kind of like comes in from like a swooping shot. I almost imagine Saris is like trying to climb up up the side of the building.
Mhm.
We can, and the camera kind of like pans over to one of the windows of somebody getting up and ready for the day. Maybe Gearfried, since you're doing something suspicious with all this stuff.
I wouldn't say I'm doing anything suspicious with it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm reallocating my infusions and setting my spells is all I'm doing.
Okay. What's the rest of you guys doing?
Just as a quick question, Saris was going back to the window she was at previous?
Yes, it's the only window she knows guaranteed to have a member of the group in the room.
That's fair. Is Saris going to be entering through the window?
She will be. Her goal is to first assess who's in the room. So not initially entering the room, depending on who's inside.
Please scare Fennec with the skull.
Well, no. See, that's the funny thing. Levin would have left the room dark, and he would have been the only one in that room.
Damn.
Thanks would be on me.
So, Saris, at the moment, you're not going to see anybody in the room.
I have dark vision.
And I'm invisible to it.
What? Are you awake or asleep?
I'm awake.
Oh, okay.
You're invisible to dark vision?
Gloomstalker feature.
Yeah, he's the
Oh,
Gloomstalker.
the Gloomstalkers. I forget about those.
Yeah.
Gloomstalker.
Who's gonna scare who now is the question.
She's going to wait because now she's thinking maybe they left for the day because it's morning now, right?
Yeah, like 6 a.m. maybe.
Okay.
But with Saris looking in, you would have been visible at the window looking in?
I mean, she would have been trying not to because she's this isn't her first time going in through the window of a room. She knows about like her shadow possibly being seen, so I'm not saying she's invisible, but she would have taken precautions to avoid being seen if she could.
You'd still have to get an eye above the sill in order to look in.
Yep.
I think it's a stealth check.
And I'm a sharpshooter. I ignore cover, so I'd see it.
Opposing roles. Let's see it.
Oh.
Right now. Still the first.
No, that's fine.
Whatever.
I'll
Let's
go
see
for
Okay.
who notices who first.
I am still using Blessing of the Trickster, so I will have advantage.
How long does that last?
An hour, but I can just keep giving it to myself. It's unlimited.
Fair.
I mean, the only difference between this version and the old version now, I can use it on myself. So
I do like that version.
I
That
do
is pretty
too.
cool.
Because now holy shit.
Oh,
Ooh, dang.
But I know with Levin, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. He can roll
Nope.
pretty high too.
He can.
All right.
The cop versus the criminal.
The ultimate showdown. My stealth
Oh, no.
versus his perception.
It's likely I'll fail this one.
Oh, okay.
I'll just say that up front.
Oh!
You win with the crit.
wow.
There it is. There it is.
Wow.
11 is the ultimate cop.
God damn it.
What Saris is going to hear is the tension on a crossbow slowly relax. Care to come in?
She goes, and she'll just like, oh, you're doing that thing. Show yourself.
He's just gonna light. He's just gonna light the a candle near him.
And she will step inside and it's like, well, you've found another spot of trouble, as usual. I'm assuming mostly Fennec's fault.
A little bit of a mixed bag, actually.
Well, luckily I've been paying attention. And she will reach into her pack and put down a little wrapped bundle in strips of cloak cloth. I found something.
It's, would you prefer to be clandestine, or should I inform the rest of the group?
I feel I'm better off out of sight for the time being.
Well, just so you know, Gearfried, the fire genasi, the flame-touched one, he has a plan. I'm assuming you've heard of it?
Something about indecency.
More specifically, a public spectacle, paramour scenario.
I heard about that. If I can, I might be able to assist. It sort of depends. But and she'll sort of push the little package. This will, I believe, answer Yami's question. It's in your hands now.
Right. Wherever they're going to be setting up, I'll most likely be along the western end.
I'll probably be near Gearfried. He just won't recognize me.
If you wanted boots on the ground, you would have offered to be the paramour, but...
Oh, I have something much, much better in mind.
That said, do you want me to bring you up breakfast?
No, I think I'll manage for now. I saw a nice little kiosk down the way, and she'll pull out like a little cinnamon roll and start napping on it. Great rolls. You would not believe how good they are.
Well, then I'll leave you to at least have some private time for yourself in the room. And Levin's gonna get up and leave the room with the items in tow. Or item.
Yeah. I kept the horseshoe.
Very good.
Before he finishes leaving, he's gonna toss Saris the key.
She catches it. It says, thank you. And I'm going to try and get a good 4 hours of meditation in.
Nice.
That said, he's gonna wait until Gearfried and Yami are awake, because it's still early.
Goddamn that 20.
I will have woken up, or Gearfried will have woken up and have. I assume Yami was in a separate room, so I'd wake up eventually around 8 and just start banging on his door.
I just finished putting my armor at that time. Fennec might be sleeping. I'm not sure about Fennec, but Fennec is an early riser too sometimes. So
Fennec's sleeping, and then you just hear like a little like low snore and just like a.
Good old. You gotta love him. He's so cute and beautiful when he sleeps.
For a couple of hours, Levin's gonna actually be bored and he's gonna knock lightly on the door.
All right, I'm coming. Bennett's still sleeping. Be a little more quiet. And as I come, close the door gently, like my little angel. And I close the door. What you guys want? What happened?
No ceremony. Levin is literally just gonna toss it at Yami. Underhanded short lob.
Oh, what the hell? I'm gonna like barely catch it, like just juggle it a little. What's this? Ugh. Ew.
I believe that's an answer to your question from last night.
Thanks. Was this this is what you did to my hand axe, Gearfried?
Well, no. Here, I still need to hand you the axe. I don't throw you the axe. I walk up and hand it to you. Yeah, I'm not going to toss this to you because yeah, it's going to come back now. You're welcome.
Oh.
I'm going to prepare the rest of my spell list if you don't mind. And I head back into my room to prepare my spells the rest of the day.
Well, that Gearfried. I love that guy. I owe him one.
Throw the axe at him? Come on.
But I'm gonna like kind of like dangle the still kind of like not dangle, but like maybe like fingertip hold the stinky wrap. Like, what is this? You mean is this what I think it is?
Consider it a care package.
When did you do this? Is this the head?
What, you think I can't work in a clandestine fashion?
I'm not saying you can't, but hey, well, dang. I thought you would have wanted some assistance, but by golly, this will do. Now the question is, what do we do with it? As I kind of like cockeye, like, I mean, do we destroy it? Do we give it to him? That part I didn't see. I honestly just didn't even think this was gonna be in my hands, literally, as I like.
Consider it a secondary bait, if nothing else.
Alrighty, I'm gonna put it in my pack, but I'm gonna wrap another like cloth. I'm gonna tear a cloth from my cloak to wrap it again.
Fennec will roll over, having kind of been awake and listening to this. And he'll just kind of sit up on the bed straight, look at Levin, and go, "Where is she?"
Taking care of things for herself. You've seen how she operates.
But she's okay.
Physically, she seemed fine.
I come marching back in. All right, spell list ready for the day. I was only switching out one thing. What's going on? What's with the skull?
Yeah, they found the head. Well, 11 found the head. Somebody found it.
That certainly makes things easier. Good job.
Let's worry about congratulations after we're actually finished.
Right. So that actually gets rid of quite a bit of work then. We don't need to actually ask people around for any sort of hint as to where this fucker is buried. Now we can just move right on to the plan. They'll find some big open plaza and we can go from there.
So what we can do is at least scout an area because he doesn't come until believe
The
like
evening.
yeah,
The
late.
witching hour, as it was said.
Right. So yeah, there's bound to be a place that's plenty open. Levin, I'm certain that you have some sort of inkling as to how you want to be positioned for what we're doing.
You did also mention barrels, I believe. We still have to acquire those and set those up as well.
That wasn't necessarily a big part of the plan. I was just using it as an example for maybe
Location
like
first. Let's walk around and scout.
Alrighty.
So, as a group, I imagine are we all going to try to investigate or perceive or something?
Yeah, so we want to look for a spot. I'm assuming that's very advantageous for a fight with a headless horseman.
We're looking for an open square or maybe a market.
Yeah. Preferably.
Open
That said, once we do find one. I'm going to do some scouting of my own. Just perimeter check, really.
Open square or market?
Yeah, I believe we would all do. I mean, I would also do another once about everything to get a gauge of everything as well. What's my Outlander? So I can memorize it. My layout, my whereabouts at least.
Background feature for Outlander?
Yep.
And Gearfried will be looking for some flowers to make a pretty bouquet.
I'm also gonna be throwing my axe in the air and catching it, as making it come back to me and getting some practice with that as I'm walking around. Nothing like crazy to like damage nothing, but just like something playful. Obviously, if it's an open area and there's nobody about.
You will also notice that kind of embedded in the handle of your axe is a little almost like a pearl-looking sphere, but like upon closer inspection, it's like it's one of those metal things that was in my wrench earlier.
I'm gonna go and go polish it on my armor. Like, oh, this is nice. I like this. But anyways, yeah.
So as you're scoping about, you notice that there's really two options. There's... Can you all see this?
Negative.
I do
It's
not.
no
I only
token.
Token with vision.
Oh yeah, the tokens.
I did see.
Yeah, in the map options, you can just unrestrict vision as well.
There you go.
Wow.
Yep.
That's true.
Yes, that I can see.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Great.
Good.
So this is the market kind of area. You'll notice though that parts of it where there are what would be holes in the ground, those are actually just like kind of like a big statue right there in the middle. And then over there's more stalls and this kind of like big gap over here where you can kind of see.
Those are puddles.
Yeah. Big puddles reflecting the light back up there. That's actually even better. I like it. And the other option though is the graveyard that you guys passed by once or twice as you're going around. And those are the main kind of things that you're seeing that are available for like spacious areas. There's also an alleyway that is a little bit tighter of a location, but you get the idea that it actually might be, it's a good area to spring a trap though, probably.
I was just gonna think that maybe the alley would be good.
Well, here's the thing. An
Mhm.
alley might be good, but I'm thinking a spectacle might be a bit more believable if it were to be like a something a bit more romantic. Graveyard might be out of the question, in my opinion. Alley might be a bit pushing it.
I'm not
But a
fight.
graveyard would be appropriate towards a creature that's could be seen as nightmarish.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna also desecrate graves and stand on them and bring like on.
That said, I don't have terribly many methods of keeping a person stationary.
I actually do have a method for doing that. Well, somewhat of a method.
Well, it'll benefit. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say? You have a method for?
Well,
Ooh.
actually, hold on. Let me double check that really quick. That is, yeah. I have a. I learned the snare spell back in the day, and I have it prepared. I've got some rope. I mean, it's entirely dependent on whether or not we could actually make this trap work, but I could set that up beforehand. But that's entirely guesswork as to assuming that he's going to approach from any certain direction.
Right. I'm going to take a moment and see if I can get a couple of materials. Levin's gonna just check the market to see if there's anybody like selling a net or anything like that. I'm assuming some of these people might go to a lake or a river and fish.
Totally. You're able to find how big of a net
Just a throwable personal net. It's in the player's handbook under weapons.
Yeah, it looks like it's 1 gold from what I pulled up on the website. So
All right. Levin will pick that up
sounds good.
just as a backup.
All right.
As we're there, I'm gonna be like, Fennec, you're finally awake. What about you? Do you have any ideas to this plan? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be up front with me on the lines, or are you gonna hang low with Levin?
Gonna not be in the front with you. I will hide back and do my little finger wiggling stuff and from a distance.
You got it. What do you think? Should we do it alleyway? I mean, so what I was thinking was, maybe we can do this in the public and then lure him into the alley. Obviously, he's gonna chase us, I'm assuming, but that's my idea. I think the alley's good because I'll be the front line.
That can work. Actually, Yami, before you get any specific ideas as to what exactly you want to be doing, you're actually a very important aspect of this plan, as I'm going to need you to be confessing your undying love to me.
I mean, maybe you should have definitely make sure you definitely buy me a few rounds before we do this.
Well, don't worry. You're not going to be talking to me. You're going to be talking to Isabella. Well, I'm going to be disguised as Isabella, and I'm going to need you to be effectively, professing your love for her and, shouting that you're going to make her the happiest woman in the world, all that nonsense. After which, hopefully, the horseman will be so overcome with jealousy that he'll come and try to swipe you down, which is actually why I've been grabbing these flowers here. And I hold up some flowers I've just been, picking as I've been going around the town. I've made this little bouquet, in which I am also keeping my smithing tools here. Use these as a bit of a spell focus, and I can also activate my armor, so that way, there's an easy out for us if he just immediately attacks us. So,
Alrighty, as long as I don't wake up in the middle of the night with you with a blade at my throat like Ceres. I don't know. I got too drunk that night. I don't remember what happened, but
I'm certain she was coming on to you for some reason. But let's
with a blade, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Pardon. If we're done here, do we want to scout out the other areas, or do we want to turn in and just make ready for tonight?
Definitely.
Make you ready for tonight.
Yeah, this is a spot. But real quick, are we leading him to the alleyway, or are we just gonna brawl here? If so, I do want to let the townsfolk know, so there's nobody here when that happens.
Well, no one's already going to be here. It's going to be nighttime, and they're all going to be cowering inside of their houses.
Hopefully.
Generally speaking, but if
Also,
we want to lure him here, you may want to give that object of interest to Fennec. He may be able to coax them to follow him.
You want me to coax who into doing what now?
You want Fennec to be the bait to get to us.
He has a rapid means of locomotion, yes.
Not a bad idea. Fennec, are you up for this?
Yes.
Fennec, in terms of maybe massaging this to be more provable to you, you get to play with a severed head.
You also have a flying broom, so you got advantage over all of us.
Yeah, but I figured, it might be a guilty pleasure of yours considering the nature of your magics.
I'm in.
Oh, thank goodness. This is, I'm going to take the head that's triple wrapped in cloth and cloak tears. I'm going to pass it to Fennec. There you go. Take care of that, buddy. It's all on you. You got
didn't
it.
agree to. Okay.
I'm pretty confident. 4-on-1. I think
I know Fennec's got it.
We've got good odds here.
He's actually the best person for this job, actually.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Right. Let's.
That said, Fennec,
ready.
Yes.
You would be able to cast darkness upon that, wouldn't you?
On the head?
Yes, it's separate from the body, yes?
No. You're saying you want me to cast dark. You want me to cast the darkness on the head.
I mean, you're carrying it with you. Wouldn't the darkness follow you and you see within it?
Yes.
So you have a
Oh, I
backup
see
in
what
case
you're
you need to
saying.
run.
Yes.
What? Can I can see through magical darkness? Meta.
If he creates it with his sorcery points mechanically.
Okay, that's good to know. Meta. Thank you.
He's done it a few times now.
Yeah, with Levin in tow.
Yep. Yami would have not known about that.
No, because in the cultist village or whatever it was, you weren't near him.
Nope.
I was circling around when you had cast that.
Yep. So 11
I
knows
did-
he can do it.
Yeah.
And then he did it in the steerage cart.
All right. Then take whatever time you need to set up. I'm going to do a perimeter sweep.
All right, I'll wait until the plaza becomes a little less crowded to prepare the snare and disguise myself.
Exactly where am I bringing this thing?
If
Here?
there's a scream in the distance, that direction, you would bring it towards here.
Ah, the cue.
In case this bait doesn't work. Now, if you'll excuse me, and Levin goes off.
All right. Yeah, I do also want to do a little a lap around before we go back and wait till witching hour.
What Levin's going to be actually doing is heading back to the inn and seeing if he can scrawl a quick note to slide under the door for Saris.
Okay.
What does he mean if the bait works? I find that insulting. I'm a masturbator.
Oh no.
Puns.
I like how Marcia
They
and I
hurt.
looked at the stream at the exact same time at the exact same.
But yeah, I want to do a quick once over the area, like just a general knowledge of it before I head back to the inn and just start preparing, polishing my weapons, playing with my axe.
So are we fast forwarding to witching hour?
I would assume so, unless anybody else
The
does.
witching hour, where wins become losses and losses become wins. Welcome to the red zone, guys.
All right.
Yep.
3 a.m.
So we jump up to just before midnight. Everybody take your places, if you will. Feel free to move freely along the map.
Okay.
And then
Just as an aside, real quick, would Levin have been able to find an elevated position amongst the houses?
yes. Feel
All
free
right.
to put yourself like along any of the walls, really, of like
All right.
the
Just getting a
outside
general
area.
measure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have. I told Saris that I would have. Oh, I'm getting collision errors. All right, I'll just
it
put
next
myself
to the
there.
wall, then.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But I would have informed Saris that I was taking the west end of that area.
Right.
And I will place the snare trap right behind, like right here behind where Yami is. But I'm gonna be right here in front of Yami. All right, so I cast snare, so I place a rope on the ground, and the rope disappears into the circle, and it becomes a magic trap. And I need to mark that spell down as being used now.
I'm gonna be like, so right before we leave the tavern, I'm like, well, at least this time you're not slapping me, Giffrey.
It's well, yeah.
As he finishes the remark, you can hear the sound of a horse neighing off in the distance.
I disguise myself and then grab my bouquet of flowers, my smithing tools hidden inside of it.
Before we kick things off, I I assume Levin told me before dusk, like a couple hours at least.
Yeah.
I would have asked around about where I could find Isabel.
Mhm.
Would I have been able to find her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People know where she lives.
Okay. I would have gone to her and it's like, it's like, hello again. Sorry to bother you. If I could beg upon your kindness just once more, could you meet me in the town market square around dusk? I would like to give you perhaps another small gift.
At dusk. I
You will be safe. I will see that you come to no harm.
very well. It better be worth it, though.
I think you'll appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
At
So with
dusk,
that,
you said?
yeah, basically the same time that we're planning to kick things off here.
That would be the witching hour. That would be closer to dawn.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, amend that to I guess witching hour.
Yeah, like
Midnightish.
I getcha. No worries.
Ah.
You guys would have coordinated the times.
So is she amenable to that? That's a little later.
Yes.
Okay. And then on my way there, I will cast disguise self to make myself look like Robert.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
This is
This
gonna.
plan gets more and more cockamamie as we go.
Oh, I
It's
think
more
my
of-
portion of it is sensible.
I assumed you were going to do this, but Gearfried has no idea that you're even here, so.
Nope.
Yeah,
Still, except
this is more of an insurance policy in case Plan A doesn't work.
You mean plans A and B?
Yeah. Ceres is
All
a
right.
firm believer of contingency plans.
Is there anything else we should be aware of? Any other
That's
contingency plans?
nope. I will be sort of waiting off to the side when Isabel arrives and just kind of watching how things play out for the first little bit.
all right.
Okay.
So the plan is that Fennec, you lead him to us, we lead him to the alley, and that's all we have planned for us. So it's on you, Fennec.
So yeah, I have Fennec up to the north.
Perfect.
Give me. Let's see if we
While
can find him first of
oh,
all.
before I do that, I did have something I wanted Fennec to try.
Mhm.
He wants to examine the skull a little further now that he kind of just has it alone.
Yeah.
Good man.
Like more studying it in terms of like its arcane properties, magic, anything like that. I mean, he's interested in it because it is dark. He's assuming it's kind of some kind of dark magic or whatnot, but he's interested in seeing if he can learn more about it or maybe even gain knowledge on how to use something.
Roll me an Arcana roll real fast then.
Okay. This is also just a cheap way of me getting a roll in. Oh, come on, dice. Work. Hey, not terrible, not terrible. It's a 17.
There's nothing inscribed, particularly on the skull. It's not messed with in any way. However, you do know that if certain curses and ritual could be done while defiling a grave, this does sound like something that could occur if enough malice, energy, and other sort of like emotional magic is used in it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So in order for to like, if you wanted to like recreate this, it would have to be at the cost of like something terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
You
what
could
we need.
also have, yeah. All right, cool.
He's ready. You're an interesting little friend. Look more at you later.
You hear the horse kind of clopping along, but you can't see anything.
Fennec hears
It's
this.
almost like that the tight streets are being a nuisance to your visual being ability to see anything directly, or at least get a good eyesight on him. Are you just flying about, or are you doing anything in general to try to provoke, or
Now that you asked, he's hovering probably at what would be like an average person's shoulder height.
Yeah.
At the moment. And he's just you said he hears the hooves?
periodically, yes. Like as you're going along for
the
the first 10
direction
minutes,
or
it's almost like directionless. You
all
hear to
right.
your left, you hear to your behind you.
He is going to do he's going to pull a Fennec. He's going to hold up the skull going, heads here, get your heads here.
That's great. I was picturing Fennec doing something like
Fresh, you can't fret. Old decrepit skull here.
that.
And then he'll say, Nathaniel
Blackwood.
Nathaniel Blackwood, come out wherever you are.
And after a few minutes of riding about, taunting, you do see, like, as you're kind of flying along, around the corner rides a horse. It's like side profile comes up to you. And you can see embers shooting off of its steps as it moves along. And then its red eyes pierce at you. You see the silhouette of the figure, and it like turns its shoulders sideways to then have its chest facing at you. You see no head attached to the figure. After a moment, it then rears the horse back and starts at a full gallop towards you.
It's go time. And he okay. He is going to, as Levin instructed, he's going to cast darkness on the skull using his eyes of dark. And he's going to hightail it out of there.
All right.
Do we hear the sound of the horse coming as Fennec's flying towards us?
After a few minutes, because Fennec had to fly a little bit away, not too far, as he was probably trying to keep close, you start to hear the sounds of the galloping coming closer and closer as he's making no attempt to be quiet. And you could almost hear the sound also of like a lash being whipped across of a horse periodically.
All right, let's make it look good.
I'm pretty sure we see a little ball of darkness, but all right, I think you're coming. Put on your best voice.
Then,
Right?
yeah, Fennec comes flying in, and then right almost behind him, you see a darkened figure appear from underneath one of the gateways. And as you then, Gearfried, you look at each other, like, you're like, oh, time to get ready. You kind of out of the right side of your eye see a woman standing to the left side, or I should say to your right, sorry.
You're right. Yep. All right, so I look Yami in the eye as I'm disguised, and I say in my best feminine voice, "Oh, not since Robert have I felt this way. You truly are the perfect man. Please, it would be my honor to be your wife." And I just I lean in and I fuck it, yeah, I kiss Yami.
I'm like, I love. I'm like, oh,
And I'm just like, Wiggle the good, wiggle the good.
and I'm like, oh, uh, you know what? I'm so infatuated with you. You know what? Forget Robert. Forget Nathaniel. I'm gonna get on one knee, marry me, and I'm pressing my hat where it starts the fireworks come out.
I do. Of course. I couldn't you have vanquished the memory of that awful Nathaniel. I could never think of a man as weak and pitiable as him. You are truly better in every way, shape, and form. And do we see the horseman as this happens?
Not
I'm
just that. No,
firework.
he does not finish. But you hear the sound coming closer.
Oh, I was doing this on the assumption that he was coming in at this point.
Oh yes, he's coming in. I thought you said he vanished.
No, I was doing this as he was coming in. Like I was like trying to like
Maybe-
time this as he was like.
Coming in, and you notice that you can hear the sound of the hoofsteps starting to slow pace. But then, as you finish your whole speech, you hear a woman of a familiar voice yell, "What is going on? Who is this charlatan?" And you look over and you can see Isabella standing there, like illuminated by a small lantern that she's holding.
Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Is that the horseman that is right there?
Well, you're right. Why are you dressed as me? Who are you?
Run the fuck the other way right now. Get the fuck out of here.
And this is where I will step out as
Sorry.
Robert.
Oh, this is a dumpster fire. I love it.
Wait, Robert.
Horseman rounds the
Well, I don't
corner
know.
of
We
the
don't technically.
stalls. He sees
We don't even know who Robert is.
Two Isabellas, a Yami, and Robert. Have you stepped out from around the corner, or
Yes, I have.
Who the heck is
Robert
this?
now? The man.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
None of the thing is, no one else here except
Yeah, no
Yeah.
one else knows.
No one knows that you're here besides Levin, and no one knows what
No.
Robert besides you.
Levin does not know that Ceres is doing this.
and none of you know what Robert looks like.
Exactly. So I'm like, wait. I'm like, Giffrey.
Suddenly, the broad
Giffrey-
man steps out
What?
from the shadows.
I look at her, the real one, and I say, "Who are you, you charlatan?"
Oh God.
I am Isabella Holloway. What is this? Go ahead. She tries to almost rip your hair off.
I am Isabella Holloway. How dare you? And I slap her in the face.
Oh God.
I'm
Meaning of
gonna like,
this.
This has
I-
immediately gone into Jerry Springer.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
bigger problem, guys. Isabella's, as I turn back and see Fennec coming in hot with in the darkness and a horseman right.
You don't see him.
All right.
Out of yeah. So and we do I see the horseman?
Yes.
I don't know who you are over there, sir, but you better get ready for a fight since you're here.
I look at the horseman and I just say, Nathaniel, is that you?
Oh my
She just
god.
looks at the horseman riding towards everybody.
So is the horseman deviated from following Fennec?
Yes, very
Oh.
much so.
Okay.
That was a spectacle with my fireworks.
And
hat,
then
2 Isabellas, a Robert.
I would
As the
like
horse,
to,
yeah, go ahead,
before
horse.
it, because I feel initiative is about to happen. Robert would rush forward to stand in front of the real Isabella. Say, "Stand back! I'll protect you." Brandishing a
Robert!
crossbow. So
You've come. Yeah, let's roll initiative.
Okay.
because I feel like I know who the horseman is probably going to want to kill the most right now. I think I know.
I feel like Levin should have just gotten himself some tactical popcorn for this.
Best day
Tactical
ever.
popcorn, I hate you. Well, my initiative isn't great.
Oh,
Oh,
we are like killing it on this initiative.
Yeah.
There
we
you go.
all are. Look at
All
us.
right, there we go.
We both got 8s. And then
Yep,
11.
it's us. It's, the elves always go first.
What is that? 2 rolls for Aaron and nat 20s.
Ooh.
Yep. Only roll 20s in this house.
Okay.
What's your dex, Gearfried?
My dexterity is 14.
Alright, so you definitely higher than mine.
Hope we started it up.
Yami is missing from the initiative, I think.
Oh, is he? Oh, I thought I had him in there.
If you roll
Yeah,
out,
roll figures in, roll it up, and
He
Yeah.
rolled an 8.
oh,
Mhm.
rolled an 8. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Gearfried both rolls an 8, but he has a higher dex, so he goes first.
Yep.
You could put him in as a 7.
Mhm.
Whoops.
That works too.
Whatever. 11, you're up.
Also, Fennec in the initiative.
What? How did Fennec not get in too? It's ridiculous. Fennec, what'd you
Fennec got a
roll?
5.
Oof.
Like I even selected the token and all, and it wasn't.
Okay, there we go. Apologies.
Also, I should say that I should remind that the tile behind Yami or between Yami and whoever that is, one space diagonal away from him, the space in between has the trap in it. That's the space. That's the snare that I put.
This space?
Yes, that space.
Okay.
All right. I guess I'm starting things off.
Mhm.
Just
Totally.
Levin is going to start off by shooting off a few rounds. I'm a fair distance away, and I'm hopefully in darkness.
Oh, that's Fennec.
Yes.
That was the horseman.
So I'll have advantage on these attacks. This is going to be wonderful. Uh, 28 to hit.
Nice.
Hits.
9 points of magical piercing damage.
Okay.
Second attack, and I'm going to make this a sharpshooter shot.
All right, all right.
So this will be a -5 on that. Give me a sec. For a 12, which I'm assuming misses. Or does that hit?
Yeah. Oh no, it hits. Sorry. Yeah.
Seriously?
Good to know.
Yeah.
So that will be 19 points of magical pierce.
Oh boy, he might go down in the first round.
Sorry, I forgot to roll a d8 on that because this is the bonus attack from Gloomstalker for first turn.
Is this like phase 1 of the Headless Horseman?
Add another 6 to that.
Okay.
And third attack, also sharpshooter. For a 19 to hit. For 20 points of magical pierce.
Okay.
And from my position, I'll end my turn.
Good times.
All right. Now, when a creature hostile to this creature starts its turn within 28 feet of it, it has to make a wisdom saving throw or be scared. There's, I believe you're actually within 20, maybe, right?
Where
Yeah,
is
that's
it?
20. To your right.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was. I thought Fennec was the horseman for.
For a hot sec.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
Yeah,
No,
I thought that. I
came-
thought that was the horseman's token. Is what I mean.
No, he came riding around as you guys were putting on the great show.
Right.
Oh, 11's way over there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I can't see him.
Opened up with 54 points of magical piercing damage. I think I'm okay with this.
And you want me to
Yeah.
roll a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw, or else you'll become frightened of him. Even though he just got plucked with like a bazillion arrows.
At level 4.
Am I gonna run away?
Just review the frightened condition on your sheet.
Nope, you're just
If you're
frightened.
using D&D
Well,
Beyond.
some frightened conditions cause you to run, or like frightened effects.
just
You're-
can't-
It would be in the monster stat block, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you would be trying to move at least 30 feet away from him, and all your attacks should have disadvantage.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Just the general frightened condition. Correct.
So I just have a
Then-
disadvantage.
Yeah, disadvantage while you're within line of sight, and you can't willingly move closer to him.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I'm not worried about that. I feel like he'll close the distance for me. And yeah, I'm just gonna shoot him with a crossbow.
You can try.
With disadvantage. 17 hit.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 12 armor.
Yeah. And I will, in a shaky voice, like, come out, you headless coward. I am here to stand for what I truly believe in.
Ooh, okay. Whoops. What the heck just happened?
DC 21. Jesus
Sure.
Christ.
Yeah, my fault. I was trying to type in his damage, but there we go. Cool.
That's fine. I am consigned to being afraid for the rest of my life then.
Basically, for this bit. All right. Anything else?
That's my turn for now.
Okay.
I don't want to give it away just yet that by casting spells, because I feel like Robert probably wasn't a spellcaster.
No. You would assume correctly there.
So yeah, I am avoiding magic at the moment. I want him closer.
He rides forward a step. I spring the trap.
The trap was here.
It's right there. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right where he's charging, basically.
Okay, then that will activate the snare, which means trap triggers when a small, medium, or large creature moves onto the ground or the floor in the spell's radius. The creature must succeed on a dex saving throw or be magically hoisted into the air, leaving it hanging upside down 3 feet above the ground or on the floor. The creature is restrained there until the spell ends. A restrained creature
Saving
can.
throw.
Yeah, restrained creature can.
Save against Dex 13.
Ooh, I think he failed that.
That is a failure.
So as he goes riding up, you notice that the horse suddenly, like the rope, I guess, magically comes kind of like up and around, and like pulls its leg out from underneath him, and he goes, "Bam!" hits onto the ground. And is he stuck there? Remind me. Sorry.
Yeah. So he's basically the rope itself is kind of floating magically in the air, and it kind of hoists him above the 3 feet above the ground. I believe it says.
Now, does this nab the horse or does it nab the horseman?
Well, I feel like it would nab the horse because if he was riding on the horse is what would trigger the trap.
Yeah.
True.
So he would fall to the ground, and the horse would be holstered into the air.
Yeah. Which
I think
actually
it.
did something good there. I mean, he's no longer on the nightmare anymore.
Does
I
the
believe-
spell holding like grunt?
I believe the snare is like a restraint condition.
Yes, it's restrained, and the horse can make a dex saving throw at the end of each of its turns,
Yeah.
and in the effect on itself on a success. Alternatively, the creature or someone else who can reach it can use an action to make an intelligence arcana check against the spell save DC. On a success, the restraint effect ends.
Think
So he
you
can
just-
try. The horseman can try to end it too.
That nightmare is going to hunt you down and make your life miserable.
It's gonna make your life a nightmare.
However, he did fall, and so getting back up, he's gonna have to. I mean, shit, he'd have to spend. Yeah, so he's fallen to the ground. He you see his shoulders and where his head would be, kind of like look up towards Robert, and he's like almost starting to like claw at the ground to get closer to him. As Gearfried, you're up.
All right. He will see the visage of the fake Isabella start to smolder and crackle as my form takes shape again. As I drop the rest of the flowers in my bouquet to hold out my smithing tools, and I use my action.
Real quick, does Gearfried have to make that save against the aura?
Oh right, I would, wouldn't I?
Oh yeah, sorry, he does. Correct.
Wisdom save.
Yep.
Wisdom. Nat 20.
For a 21.
God
Just
damn.
makes it.
Oh my god!
Isn't a nat 20 always an automatic success?
Not
Nope, only
for
on
saving
attack
throws.
rolls.
Well, nat 20, so
Yeah.
the horseman sees the visage of the fake Isabella shift and smolder as it takes my form, and I drop the rest of the flowers in the bouquet to show my smithing tools, and I jam it into into the shoulder plate of my armor, and the gear motif starts to twist and turn as I activate my my arcane armor, and that's the main action. And bonus action, I will, I guess, just give myself some extra hit points because I can do
You've
that.
activated my meme card.
My defensive field. So now I just kind of like start emanating some more fiery aura to me, and I will walk in front. Can I walk through people? Is that something you guys were allowed to do?
As long as you don't stay in the space, you can move through
Yeah.
friendlies.
I'm going to walk in front of the guy he seems to be clawing towards, and stand in front of him. I go, "All right, how about you deal with me instead, there, big guy?" And that's all I can do.
Okay. And Yami, you are up.
Alrighty, seeing the excuse me, the one that's right.
You have to roll the wisdom.
Oh, yep, wisdom saving throw, right?
Correct.
Okay. Wow, nat 1.
You're afraid of. You're like Scooby Doo.
I'm just terrified of this guy for some odd reason. Weird, but alright. That's fine. I'm gonna
I
still
mean,
make
horse.
it with
ahead.
my sword since he's up in my grill, and it'd be at disadvantage. But I'm also, before that even happens, I want to use my channel divinity of guided strike, so that'll be a plus D10 to my roll.
Okay. Believe at disadvantage though, correct? Was that the frightened thing we said? Yeah.
Yes, disadvantage causes frightened causes disadvantage for attack rolls and ability checks while within line of sight.
Great. So you'll get the plus 10, but at disadvantage it seems.
I roll a 13.
13 plus 10, so that'll be 23.
You hit with the 13 anyways.
Oh. Risk, because that's called it before I knew the answer, so I better take the chance. So with that, let me see real quick. Oh my god, hold on.
Damage roll.
Yep. Sorry about that, guy, because I was gonna add something else to that if I can with a. But I'm sorry, character sheet has real.
All right, Yami, real quick. In the future, you can use that channel divinity after the roll, but before knowing the result.
Ah, okay. I thought, gotcha. Thank you. It's alrighty. Oh, I'm sorry, rolling damage now. I'm sorry. I have to reset my D&D Beyond sheet. Okay, so that'd be my first attack. Rolling that now. It'd be 12 damage.
Okay.
And that's my action. I'm going to use my War Priest feat and using my bonus action to attack again.
All right.
This one doesn't have the roll 10, I believe.
Correct.
Still
And
at
that
disadvantage though.
disadvantage, I'll roll it twice. Yep, I forgot
On
about
the D&D Beyond sheet, you should be able to roll by holding Control and then clicking on the relevant stat.
that. Got it. Alright, so I
You
just
hit and then roll damage.
14 for 13 damage. Slashing.
Okay. Flash down at his form and notice that the blade kind of like passes through very easily, as it like the body doesn't even seem to be like fully formed underneath the clothing. And with that, we'll go to anything else. Sorry.
Nope, I use my action bonus action. I mean, I still have moving, but I don't want to use that yet. So,
Fennec, you're up.
Okay. From the darkness, Fennec will see all this happening. The horse is still restrained, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he is going to target both but it's one token.
They're basically right over top of each other at the
Okay.
moment. Yes.
So he's targeting both the rider and the horse in the nightmare, and he's going to cast Bane.
Okay.
Which would drop his darkness.
Okay.
And then it's a DC 14 saving. It is a charisma saving throw of DC 14 for both of them.
Well, he fails, and the horse. Oh, I was really hoping the horse would succeed.
All right, so whenever either target makes an attack roll or a saving throw, the target, so the horse and the rider need to roll a d4 and subtract that from attack or saving throws.
All right. I don't even think he'll get a chance to. Anything else though?
Yep. He's going to. He's going to use to. All right, so he's Bane. He's going to use a sorcery point to use quicken spell.
You will not be able to do that as a bonus action.
I will not be doing that. So that will be his turn. Yes, because all my spells are action. Yep. All right. So that is his turn. Already ended turn. Okay, I'm good.
I got you. Isabella
Is afraid.
is very afraid. Robert, do something.
On it.
Oh no.
All right. Keeping it
Do you
simple.
respond back with anything, Robert, or Levin? You're up, by the way. Next.
Yeah, she's like, fear not, my love. This monster will not ever lay a hand upon you again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for my sharpshooter shots from here. I'm okay with this.
He is prone, but I don't think that matters for you.
I think it's
Prone
Yeah.
removes my advantage.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that I didn't know if it messed up anything of yours, frankly.
Right. Thank you for the update on the prone.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought he
Anything
stood
like-
up to make the attacks.
No, he isn't attacked.
He was clawing at the ground, like trying to crawl
Ah.
towards Robert.
Yeah, he's like.
All right, and then with that
crawling.
update, I would have just made regular shots.
Yeah, because he can't even he didn't even have the movement
Actually-
to stand up. So he had
With
to
a 12.
claw forward at the ground.
You know what? Yeah, I'll still make the sharpshooter then. 18 to hit
It hits.
for 16 magical pierce.
You notice that as the arrow sinks in, his form stops moving for a moment.
All right, if he's still physically there, I'm going to use my bonus action and make one more sharpshooter attack.
Go for it.
For a 10, that'll miss.
Yeah, it goes right where his head would have been.
And that'll
Well,
end my
So
turn.
after that arrow hits the ground, the nightmare that was floating above him disappears. And you all kind of gain a feeling of relaxation. Like you're not afraid anymore.
I was never afraid.
And as you kind of gain yourself more, Isabella looks over at Robert and says, Robert, we need to return his head to him. I did something foolish and took it away. I think we must return what is his. Can you forgive me for being so rash?
No, I understand. I was pained as well from our parting. It's understandable. You need not blame yourself.
Oh, thank you. And she looks over at Gearfried and Yami and says, is Siri with you? Is the head here? I believe she went to go get it.
Wait, hold. I'm gonna look at Robert And having known what his name was, I'm just going to. Yeah, she took the form of the small goblin friend. That's her right there, and I point over at the dark ball.
Nope, the ball's gone.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's not darkness anymore. It's Fennec on a broom.
I point to Fennec and I say, That's her now. She took that form, and I'm just staring daggers at Robert."
Oh, you all certainly are. Huh, I wonder why when I saw her last night, did she look like that? Or was he playing a trick on me, or was never mind.
It's very
Robert, let's get
difficult
away from here.
to surmise what's going on. There's a lot of double speak and deception that happens here constantly. Let's just get this thing over with.
Yes. And Fennec, you like land on the ground, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Or you come over near them.
Yep.
And as you return, you give the head to her.
He's gonna
and
like
hear her.
lob it heads up.
She catches it ungracefully.
Yep.
And mutters, "You must be more respectful when trying to do things like this. I know that I don't have much room to talk, but..." And she kneels down next to the body, and you can kind of faintly make out some sort of words that are being spoken in potentially celestial or some sort of mixture of common and celestial. And as she puts the head and affixes it to where the shoulders are, you notice that the body then kind of melts down into the dirt and spreads out as shadows across the ground. I thank you all. Maybe it's time for me to wake up. And then, as she says those words, you all find yourselves back on the train, opening your eyes. You hear a whistle go in the background. And Fennec sitting on the seat next to you, though, or in the space next to you in your jail cell, you find a broom laying there. And Siri, you see that where your belt loop is, you find a red shining horse hoof there. Or not horse hoof.
Horseshoe.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
it's fine.
Wait, so Fennec wakes up in the jail cell?
Or whichever situation you were currently in. I believe you had been arrested, if I'm remembering things correctly.
He's gonna look around, see that he's back in where he's going, "Oh, son of a bitch."
So we all wake up with the same in our previous circumstances. So like we were all in the same cabin, weren't we? On the train, like the same train cabin.
Levin was back with Melee. Saris went over to talk to Fennec, I believe.
And we went to deal with the Karens. But I imagine since we woke up, I assume we all, because otherwise we would be standing in the middle of a train.
Basically, we came out of a fugue state.
I was going to Fennec's cell or incarcerated location as his legal representation, if I remember correctly. I was posing as his lawyer.
That is correct.
You guys kind of appear in different rooms in the train, actually. Like, almost as if you guys must have been, like, wandering around in your sleep.
Oh, oof! I just kind of got no. Thank God it was a dream. I thought Giffy was gonna have a dagger to my neck like Cyrus. Gotta stop drinking.
I'm going to try to find where the fuck Levin and Yami are.
Well, you can try to find where they are next time at the Players of the Realms.
Still have not hit an enemy. I have yet to
Well,
do a
maybe
single
next
point
time
of
you
damage.
can.
But you
Check us out.
avoided fear like a champ.
I know. He's
Hey,
undaunted.
I grew up the target of a prank war for my entire life with two older brothers. I am not afraid of anything.
And it seems like you're going to continue being a part of a prank war. Some sort of weird, misbegotten war prank.
Excellent.
Everybody, thanks for joining in with us. We hope you had a fun time watching the shenanigans today. Hope everyone had a good Halloween as we go into November. And we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Adios.
Night night, everyone.
Sayonara.